All right, USC kicks off Big Ten play today. I wanted to check in. Haven't really spoken about the team since the Notre Dame loss. I wanted to give it a little space and see what they did over these last three games before they had this tough game versus Washington. And in my opinion, they looked really good. Haven't gotten a lot of love from the net rankings, but that's okay. Let's start with Jazzy Davidson because in the last video, I talked about wanting to see her three-point shooting improved. Much better shooting than what we saw from her early on in the season. She immediately went 2 for 5 for 40%. That was her season high, and then followed that up with 3 for 6 for 50%. So that's a really good improvement that we've seen from her, and that's more like the Jazzy Davidson that we're used to. 7 for 20 overall over the last three, 35%. We'll take that all day. Also want to see an increase in her free throw attempts. Out of 8 games so far this season, there's been 3 games with 0 attempts. Only had 1 attempt in the last game. I mean, not very good, especially as much as she has the ball in her hands. And she's constantly attacking as well. But versus Pepperdine, she did shoot a season high 8 attempts. So very encouraging there. So far, only 66% from the line. She's a much better shooter than that, too. But it's a really small sample size, as we just spoke about. Now, Kennedy Smith, she's 86% from the free throw line so far this season after shooting just 68% last season. Love to see that. She has had some unlucky bounces on a few of her layups, made some really good moves that I've seen, and got there cleanly, but just didn't put it down. Pretty sure that'll normalize as the season goes on as well. Her assist to turnover ratio, though, she has one of the highest in the nation. I saw a graphic. I'll see if I can find it and put it here for the video. But she was one spot above Raven Johnson. I think she was around 5, and that was no coincidence in my opinion because Raven Johnson, we've heard Dawn repeatedly talk about her reputation as a winner, and if you know anything about Kennedy Smith, that's exactly the same reputation that she has as well. She's a winning player who makes winning plays on winning teams, and so to see her shot attempts kind of go down, which is something that we also spoke about in the last video with the load that she carries on defense, and to see her assists just go up. She had 7 assists one game, then 6 the next. I really love the role that she's taking on in the offense right there and just keeping everything organized. Now, Cara, her efficiency. Efficiency is her thing. 49% from the field last season, 51% so far this year, 43% from three. Wanted to see her field goal attempts increase, and we've seen that over the last three. And yeah, she's been making the most of it. Also rebounding really well, 5.5 per game, but that's pretty close to what she did last season. Actually, she rebounded better last season. Right now, projected as a second round pick, but I can actually see her draft stock rising. Might still be in the second round, but maybe a lot earlier than what a lot of people are projecting. Because I mean, you put her up against every other shooting guard in the league right now, keeping her efficiency and size and rebounding in mind. Definitely not something that's going unnoticed by GMs. Now, Viv the Big, she's hit double digit points for what I believe was the first time with 11. I could be wrong, but I believe that was her career high. And then she followed that up with 9 points in back to back games. So she's starting to really add some consistency there on the inside for USC, finishing 66% of her attempts, and it just looks steady. She's a steady and sure finisher this season. Her hands are a lot better, seems to be a lot softer on some of those catches in traffic. So really liking to see. I mean, she was already aggressive last season. She played with no fear, but now she's making the most of those attempts and everything's starting to go down for her. So really like to see that. Gerda, she's been looking better as well too. She's been looking much improved. Diana, Laura, they've been using their length. Laura had 4 blocks in a 4 minute span at one point. There was one game she had 4 blocks in 4 minutes, and then we saw last game Diana. She was out there just terrorizing, had a couple of blocks in that one. London Jones stepped up really well while Malia was out. She was out with an arm injury. London, she seems to be on an every other game pattern right now, which is fine with me. Because when she's on, she's on. And so I really do like what she gives when she's on. Ryan Forestier, 45% from the three-point line so far this season. Her minutes have doubled over the last 3 games, too, compared to the previous 3. So we're starting to see her take on more of a role. That same role that Avery Howell had last season as the off-the-bench sniper, the most efficient one for USC, which actually brings us to the Washington Huskies and Avery Howell's return to the Galen Center. A lot of people hyped about this one. Nice little friendly competition whenever a transfer comes to play their old team. Howell, she's right where she left off last season, shooting just under 40% from three. A few more minutes, few more points, but they'll be led by Savia Sellers, who's, of course, she's the leading scorer on both sides, 19 a game. Definitely going to be fun watching her and seeing how she's developed over the last season. Washington had USC down by 18 points last season. That was a tough game, too. And it was later in the season when the team had more time to mesh. You had Juju and Kiki out there. So they had USC down by 18 before USC fought back, got the 5-point win. This team has had less time to gel, so I expect this to be a tough one. This one is on their home turf, though, so I fully expect USC to get the win on this one, and they definitely need it, too, because we have another pack of Huskies coming in with another former transfer in Kaylee Heckle. So you definitely don't want to go into that game coming off of a loss, as tough as that's going to be. I think they will get this one. I'm hoping that they play really well. Now, they will have issues inside, perhaps, with Brian McGaughy and Yulia Grabaskaya. She's 6'5", so they will have the size advantage inside, just like South Carolina, just like Notre Dame. This won't be a warm-up game at all. This isn't just, look ahead to UConn and fall into a trap game. This is a really tough game, one that they should win, one that I know that they will win, but they're going to have to go out and take it.